Hey, what's up, everybody? Listen, if you have not heard about Anchor, it's the easiest way to make a podcast. Let me explain. Number one, it's free. Yeah, I got your attention now, right? Number two, there's creation tools that allow you to record and edit your podcast right from your phone or computer. Number three, Anchor will distribute your podcast for you so it can be heard on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and many more. Number four, you can make money from your podcast. That's right. You can make money from your podcast with no minimum viewership. Number five, it's everything you need to make a podcast in one place. So right now, download the free Anchor app or go to anchor.fm to get started. What's up, everybody? My name is Cliff, and you are listening to the What Now Podcast. That's right, the What Now Podcast, where we, through conversation, discuss ways that we can effectively address life's most difficult moments. So sit back, relax, and enjoy tonight's episode.
Blog Talk Radio.
Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome to the What Now Podcast. My name is Clifton Pettyjohn. For the purpose of these podcasts, you can call me Cliff, all right? I don't know if you've been listening to the podcast. I've been getting a lot of positive feedback about it. Tonight, I am going to take a break from the subject that we've been covering. Those who have been listening, you know that we've done part one and part two of my marriage, my divorce. Tonight I want to take a break from that, and I want to talk to us about moving with purpose. I want to talk to us about moving with purpose. And when I talk about purpose, it's such a complex yet simple subject. Sometimes I like to use the word purposes because when you use purpose and you're dealing with people that listen at things literally, they believe that they have one specific thing to do. With me, our ultimate purpose, or we have many things that's wrapped in our ultimate purpose. That's the best way I can describe it right now. It's a little late, so my brain really ain't functioning at full capacity. So I want to talk about moving with purpose and moving in your purpose. I'm not going to talk about discovering your purpose. I personally don't feel like you discover your purpose. I personally feel that your purpose discovers you within it. And I don't mind elaborating on that if you want me to at a later date. But I just finished about 2 hours ago, a interview, the second part of a two-part interview with Darius Lavelle. Many of you would know him as Kid or the Icon Kid. That's his name, in the porn industry. I did this interview because I was moved by something I heard him talk about, I probably want to say 7 or 8 years ago. And I remember that I was on Instagram, and as I was on Instagram, it was like God dropped him his picture before me. His picture was before me. And when I looked at his picture, I went and checked out his profile because I hadn't seen him in years. So I checked out his profile, saw the transformation physically he had went through, and I began to listen to some of his videos to realize, oh man, he's really went through a major transformation. So I decided to reach out to him and invite him on the show. I don't know. I don't know if I thought he would respond.
or not. I don't know if that was the fan in me. Oh man. But I wasn't sure if he would respond, and he responded, and we set the interview up. Real cool dude, very transparent and open about the things that he's done in his life, and how now he wants to help others. Um, but I thought about it like over the last couple of days, and actually since I set up the interview with him. And this probably sounds real broken up, and a lot of I said I'm not editing these episodes. You're gonna get it real and raw. And if it seems like I'm stumbling over words, you're gonna hear me stumbling over words. If it seems like I'm rambling, you're gonna hear me rambling because this is me stripped back. Okay. So I thought about it the last couple of days, and even leading into the interview. And I had some people hit me up and ask me, why would I, allow him with his background to be on my platform? And then I had some who hit me up and was like, yo, I commend you. This is what's up. More people need to do this. You know, shout out to you for being willing to do this. And really begin to think, and I'm like, what is our mindset concerning ministry or purpose or concerning stories? In my mindset, I feel like we all have a story. We all have a story. And I feel like we all have some decisions that we made at some critical times in our lives that we may not regret them because ultimately they made us who we are. But if it was presented in a different manner during a different time of our life, we may not have made that decision. I don't understand why we look down on certain people for decisions they make where it may not, decisions that they make to better themselves in whatever manner they decide to better themselves. And you might be saying, what are you talking about? What does this have to do with moving and purpose? And one of the things that I've learned over these 39 years of life, going into 40, December 23rd, I am accepting gifts throughout the entire month, preferably finances, because I'm going on a cruise. You can cash at me at Clifton Pettyjohn, at Clifton Pettyjohn, all right? But I just really begin to think, like, if we don't provide the platform for them to share their story, then who will? And I had to realize that that may just be the burden of the mandate upon my life. It may not be anybody else's burden. It may be specifically my burden. And I told the Creator that if it is specifically my burden, I'm willing to walk and carry that burden. And when I talk about the sense of the burden, I'm talking about the weight of it and the care for it. I'm not calling anybody a burden. Because anybody knows me, I'll sit and have a conversation with anybody. Why? Because as I said, everybody has a story. Everybody has a story. And connected to that story is principles, tools, and strategies that we all can use in our everyday life to experience success. So I just want to encourage people out there, and to, I keep saying and but I want to encourage you to move with purpose, regardless of who agrees, who disagrees, what people have to say, what people think. Move with purpose, because there are people that are out there that are waiting for you. They're waiting for your platform. They're waiting for your story. They're waiting for your song. They're waiting for your book. They're waiting for your speech. They're waiting for your gift, for your talent, for your ability, and for your heart. But sometimes we get caught up in what people think, what people say, how it might make people feel. But when you really are ready to move with purpose, none of that even matters. None of that even matters. And kid, Darius, really, Darius, I'm sorry. No, Darius, yeah, Darius really brought back to me or ignited purpose inside of me. He ignited it in a manner of where I was thinking about the scripture. I was talking to one of my friends, and I was telling them about the scripture where the hedges and highways scripture, where they were having the dinner and they were inviting everybody and nobody would come. And so the master told them, go out into the hedges and highways, compel them. Anybody could come. And that's how I feel about the mandate that is upon my life. I want my show and the shows that I will create, from television to radio, and the platforms I create, I want them to be open to individuals that are the outcasts, that are the ne'er-do-well, that are the ones that are overlooked, that are misunderstood, that nobody wants to hear them, or they believe that nobody wants to hear them. I just want them to come and share their story. Why? Because I believe there's healing in sharing your story. I believe there's deliverance in sharing your story. And I believe that there are things that are unlocked inside of us through sharing our stories. I talk a lot about being a conversationalist. And, you know, I have a lot of titles, but the main thing that I like to be called is Cliff. And I'm going to tell you now, I like to be called Cliff because when you sit down with Cliff, you're going to have a conversation. We can talk sports. We can talk any TV shows. We can talk books. We can talk whatever that we are talking about. And I believe that when you get up from a conversation with me, the weight that you were carrying is lifted off. We don't even have to talk about what you were going through. I believe that you are in a better state than you were when you came into contact with me. I just believe that because I know the power of a conversation. I know the power of a conversation, and I know that I have the ability, and I've always said this, and this is God. To him be all the glory. I have the ability to sit with anyone, and within 5 minutes or so, they are telling me some of the deepest, darkest secrets of their lives. They're telling me some of the things that weigh so heavy upon them. And I started thinking about how God gifted me with that, even back to childhood, and how sometimes I've sat in silence and wasted that gift because I was trying to force feed it to people that, number one, some didn't need it, some didn't want it, some didn't recognize the value of it, and I'm wasting it trying to force feed it instead of going after the ones that are in search of it. So when I talk about moving with purpose, I'm talking about moving in a manner that attracts those that have been prophetically designed to what you have been called and created to do. So when we speak of it in that sense, I want to ask you today, are you moving with purpose? Are you moving in purpose? Are you making purposeful moves? Are you standing still? Are you moving in a direction that opposes your purpose? I just want to know, how are you moving today? Who affects your moves on today? Who influences your moves on today? And if God was to tell you to make a move that contradicted those that influence you, are you willing to make that move? Are you willing to make the uncomfortable, the uncommon, and the unpredictable steps in the direction towards your purpose? Because sometimes purpose will require you to go against all the norms. All of the norms. And I want to ask you, are you willing to go against the norms to move that I made a vow before God, you know, and it's not the first time I made this vow, but I got a follow through with it this time. I just have to be real with myself. But, you know, to move with purpose, I'm going to move with purpose, and I'm going to surround myself with those that He desires for me to be surrounded with, surrounded by. And I'm always going to create an atmosphere and an environment where people feel safe to come. Get rid of those stories, those weights that they've carried so long, and understand that healing is not just an option. It's available to them, and all they have to do is receive it like the gift that they are. So again, I ask, are you willing to move with purpose? Are you willing to move with purpose? And I believe that many of you out there listening are willing to make such moves. And I believe you're making those moves now, and I believe that there's some that are listening that have struggled with the mindset of those moves. But today, you are making the decision that you will move with purpose. Be blessed.
Can you identify any areas in your life where stagnation is manifesting? Now, I know some of you might say, no, I can't. Well, I want us to look at stagnation for what it really is. Some people have identified stagnation as something that's not growing or that's not producing. I don't believe that's stagnation. To me, stagnation can also be that yes, we're growing, yes, we're producing. However, we're growing and producing in a manner that's disrespectful to the purpose and the greatness that resides inside of us. And listen, we all have areas where we can identify that we could be doing a lot better in. There's greater potential in those areas than we are experiencing. And guess what? I have a tool that will help you begin to experience transformation in those areas of stagnation in your life. And that tool is called From Stagnation to Transformation. That's right. That is my book, From Stagnation to Transformation. So I want you to head over to my website, www.cliftonpettyjohn.com. I want you to hit there. I want you to hit the transformation tab. There you're going to find a free preview of my book. That's right, a free preview of my book. And I promise you, after you read the preview, you're going to want to invest in your personal transformation through purchasing the book. So again, hit over there, purchase the book. Let me know you purchased it. Here's what I always say, guys. If you purchase the book, you read the book, you apply the principles in your life, and yet you still are stagnant in the areas that you are applying them to, and you're not experiencing any transformation, and you can prove to me that you have applied these principles, I will give you a 100% refund. That's right, a 100% refund. Why? Because I believe in the application of the principles that are outlined in this book. So again, visit www.cliftonpettyjohn.com and purchase your copy of From Stagnation to Transformation.